Ladies and gentlemen, coaches and players, I'm your host Rob Schreier, and welcome to Hardwood Heroes, your source for Tri-Valley Conference basketball. The road to the Convo began earlier this week, and the playoffs are just heating up across the state. But don't worry, we've got all the latest highlights and analysis from the TVC postseason action. And after a disappointing finish to the regular season, Nelsonville-York would like nothing more than to make it back to the Convo for the first time in nearly 12 years. Nelsonville-York faced a very familiar opponent in Meigs, who the Buckeyes took down early in the regular season, just 4 games before the playoffs began. Buckeye reporter Maddie Kuhn was out in Athens on Tuesday for that game, and Maddie, it looked early on like Meigs would go back and forth with the Nelsonville-York Buckeyes, and it was reminiscent to the first game they played this year, where Meigs only lost by 3. And we would start things off. Jesse Smith would miss the putback, but then Colton Stewart on the putback. Meigs early on here in the first quarter looked like they would get things going, but then Nelsonville-York just turned it on.
They were able to utilize their inside game all night and execute a major part of their game plan, and it worked really effectively because they made 54% of their field goals.
And if you don't know his name already, write it down, grab a piece of paper. Dylan Stalling just doing work, doing big things, as Brad Hawley likes to say, all the way to the rack for a deuce right there. He was really a big part of the success.
He was the catalyst for the offense, and right here, Daniel Klein, he dunked twice against Meigs on Friday, and here he gets hacked, but he's looking at the camera. He knows we'll be watching.
And here, Stalling again, no one's going to touch him as he goes to the rack and finishes the deuce. He would finish with 15 points on the night to lead the Buckeyes. 63-49 your final from Athens on Tuesday. Meigs one and done in the season, but 15 points for Dylan Stalling, and that's a really deceiving fact if you're a Nelsonville-York Buckeye fan.
It is, because they were really able to spread the ball around. They had 3 players with 8 points in that game, and it shows that everybody on that team is playing good basketball, which is ideal in these one-and-done situations.
So the Buckeyes really struggled late in the regular season, but what does just winning a playoff game mean for the Buckeyes?
Coach Klein, after the game, he said that they really bought into that new season mentality, so it means that it just strengthens the idea that all those losses in the regular season don't even matter. And it's not only important that they won, but how they won. They played their game, and they attacked the weakness in the opposition, which was pressuring their Meigs point guard. You saw Dylan Stalling literally hunting him down from behind. And they utilized their strength of taking the ball to the hoop. The team is also, most importantly, clicking at all the right times. They've got all the pieces to the puzzle. Mitchell's their spark plug. Should have copyrighted that floating drive down the lane. Bunting, he's reliable. Any game he'll start, no matter how badly his knee hurts. Dylan Stalling's the leader. Jared Dexter, the Dex Factor. Kyle Moore, they're the big men underneath. And Daniel Klein, he's their all-around player, and literally everywhere you look on the court, he's there. And they're playing Federal Hawking tomorrow, this Saturday, and it's going to be a big game. And here we've got our own Federal Hawking reporter, Matt Archibald. So Matt, what is it that you saw in Nelsonville at that Meigs game you were also at? What did you see from them that you think could be a problem for the Federal Hawking Lancers?
Well, Matt, I was in the stands, and 2 things really stuck out to me. Meigs turned the ball over 30 times, 16 steals by Nelsonville-York. But I got to say that one thing you're not going to see is Federal Hawking do that, because they are not Meigs. Also, the Buckeyes dominated down low. As you said, they shot 54%. Their inside game was very, very strong. But Federal Hawking has more complete guards, and they're not going to be turning over the ball as much as Meigs did.
However, Federal Hawking, they don't utilize many major role players aside from Tyler Thompson, and it's really unlikely he's going to hit 6 out of 8 threes again like he did in the game that they played at the end of January.
Well, I'd agree with you that, yeah, for most of the season it has been Tyler Thompson. But in their most recent game on Tuesday against Belpre, he didn't even lead the team. Brendan Torrance had 22 points, Thompson had 17, McCune had 10, Ryan Rex 9, and Dwayne Clark 8. 2 players just 1 basket away from 10 points. That would have been the whole starting 5 in double figures, and that is huge, all right? I'm going to borrow a phrase from my friend Dick Vitale. It was awesome, baby! That's the blueprint they're going to want to come into against this Nelsonville-York team. If everyone can get involved in scoring, good night.
Well, there you go, and they're also, Nelsonville-York's looking to do the same thing. They saw the exact same thing. They're looking for that blueprint that they found against Meigs, and I think now that they've seen it, they really look to utilize it. And, you know, they want to avoid turnovers. That they had a lot of turnovers against Federal Hawking, and they want to keep control of that ball, because Federal Hawking, they can go off at any moment, and Tyler Thompson is the perfect way to get that started with the big 3-point shot.
And you mentioned Tyler Thompson. In the first game, he went nuts. He was the star, but he got into foul trouble and was out for most of the 3rd quarter, and that's when Nelsonville went on that run. They closed it from a 14-point deficit to 3, and they could have went within 1 except for a missed layup. So the keys to this game, Fedhawk, like Nelsonville-York in the next game, wants to attack the basket, and it's really going to, because Nelsonville-York is going to try to take away their guard play. So they need to get it inside. Post players have to be effective. And then as I was talking about, the blueprint from the Belpre game, they need the role players to contribute.
And you're talking about driving down the lane. I feel like these teams are just a reflection of each other. They can, they drive down the lane all the time. Michael Mitchell in the game in January, he got into foul trouble. He had 4 fouls early on in the fourth quarter, which was really a problem for Nelsonville-York. They couldn't really attack the basket as much as they wanted to. And also on defense, when Nelsonville-York would go into a zone, and then they would try and stop the inside play with Chris Saylor, 6'10", huge guy. Daniel Klein did block him once, though. And then they just throw it out to Thompson, who just nail it, and there was really nothing they could do from there.
And they're really, I mean, this game is going to be, there's so many storylines. We haven't even covered all of them, but this is going to be a game that'll come down to the last seconds, and if you're anywhere in Athens, you've got to be at Athens High School for that game. But sitting in the stands, fans are forced to judge coaches by their body language or how far they throw their clipboards. Last Friday, Hardwood had the chance to wire up Federal Hawking head coach Chris Murray and Trimble head man Kurt Moore to find out what really happens inside the huddle.
Cheat the cheetah, baby. Cheat the cheetah. Hey, cheat the cheetah.
He's going to bait you and wait for you to pass. So give him a pass fake and go away from him or something.
Well, that's good. This is a nice place to be. This is a good place. It's a rivalry. It's fun.
Watching Cole, Smitty, help.
This is oh my gosh, man.
You got to box him out. He can rebound.
No. Hey, baby, he's right there too. That's a mutual thing.
Just keep him in front of you. Don't try to steal nothing.
Go, 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 go. Our ball. That's our ball. All right. You all right, buddy?
That's a tough shot right there. That's just a tough shot.
Baby, let's go!
White!
Hey, that's good basketball. Hey, respect.
Bend your knees, elbow through, follow through. It's time. Get up on your toes. That wasn't that bad of a shot right there. I mean, just going to make it.
Foul! That's a block! That's a block! That's a block!
I'm telling you, we take him out, they're going to get 3-4 offensive rebounds.
It's a rivalry. I just get pumped. Hey, you're doing a good job. I just get pumped. I drank a lot of Mountain Dew before this game.
You got better eyes than I do. And you can go out referee way more games than I have.
Turkey, let's go. Hey, run it. Be patient.
Man, get there for us. 19-11. It's like watching a Biddy League game.
Yeah! Let's go! Let's go, man! Yeah! Let's go! Come on!
Now right here's where we want to be. Right here's where we want to be, guys. Start putting your mind. Get them last second plays ready, Jay. Last second plays. They're on the floor! They're on the floor! That's a technical! That's a technical! He's on the floor! He came on the floor! That's a D!
Do not foul. We'll give up a half-court shot.
If they throw quarter up and they make it, they deserve to win.
Yeah, don't count.
Straight up.